1.14 is finally here for DayZ players, and with this new update, survivors now have to face the addition of both static and dynamic radiation areas, which has created a large need for NBC gear and gas masks. So, I've done you the great favor of providing you the spawn areas and the very best locations to help you get a hold of a full hazmat suit and get that juicy riffy gas zone loot. To kick things off, I've ranked the 6 different locations where NBC gear can be found. At number 6, I have office buildings. To be honest, I hardly find loot in these buildings, but it is rumored that they can spawn medical supplies, which in turn also means they can spawn NBC gear. It may be rare, but it doesn't hurt to look. Number 5, blue med buildings. These med buildings do have a chance to spawn NBC types of gear, but in my experience, I've yet to find any of the NBC loot in the buildings themselves. You can test it for yourself. Let me know in the comments what you've been able to find here. 4. Military barracks. So far in my experience, military barracks, mostly the civilian ones, tend to spawn the occasional gas mask or filter. I have yet to see any hazmat clothing, so you'll need to look elsewhere for that. Number 3. Fire stations. Interestingly enough, fire stations do have a chance to spawn NBC gear. I have seen NBC boots and gloves spawn there, but I've yet to see jackets, pants, or masks. However, these buildings are very common, especially along the coast, which makes it more likely that you'll get yourself a piece of NBC loot that you need right off the bat. 2. Hospitals. These buildings are also extremely common and tend to spawn mask filters and have a chance to spawn NBC clothing. In every major city on the coast, like Chernarus or Electro or Berezino, there is at least one hospital building. So, odds are you'll spawn in nearby to a hospital already and have a shot to add to your NBC collection rather quickly. And number 1, medical camps. Although not nearly as commonplace as hospitals or fire stations, medical camps have a very high yield in terms of spawning NBC gear. I once went to one of these and was able to find 3 NBC jackets and a pair of gloves. These areas are extremely essential to finding NBC gear in large quantities. Now that you know which buildings to look at throughout your next DayZ Rad Zone adventure, here are a few of the best Chernarus locations to make sure you check out. Severograd. Severograd is one of the largest cities in all of Chernarus, and is also home to 2 office buildings, a fire station, and a hospital. Plus, just a bit northeast of the city is a large summer camp that has a blue med building as well as 2 civilian barracks. This makes the city one of the most condensed NBC loot potential areas in the entirety of the map. Berezino. Berezino is home to both a fire station and a blue med building in the lower half of the city, both of which can spawn NBC loot. However, the best place to look around there is the string of garages right next to the blue med building. Since it is within proximity of a medical spawn, it also has a chance to spawn med loot, and I have found NBC pants, a jacket, and gloves in these sheds. Also, don't forget that there's a large hospital building in the upper half of the city. And last, but certainly not least, is the Northeast Airfield Medical Camp, which was recently added in the 1.14 update. Rather than a few useless Jeep spawns and a hangar building, the airfield also now features a Livonia-style pop-up medical camp that, in my experience, has the highest spawn rate from what I've seen in terms of NBC gear. 100% worth a look. In the end, finding a full NBC suit can be very tricky, but well worth the experience in the end. If you know of any other great loot locations to find NBC gear, make sure to leave a comment and let us know. That's it for now. I'll see you next time.